Did we? I feel like did we meet before?
In the bus.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
creator.
I feel like everyone I'm meeting today is very familiar.
Very nice to meet you, David. It's my pleasure. Thank you for coming to Japan. And Gareth, welcome back in Japan.
Thank
you.
It's
been 3 years, I guess?
Yeah,
two years, wow.
2, this was a fast movie.
My favorite sequence scene in the Jurassic World Rivers is a T-Rex swim into the river and chasing after the family. It was amazing. And I think it's clearly inspired by Jaws, Steven Spielberg, and also it appeared in the original book. But the last time you used it in Japan, it was right around the Godzilla -1 was came out, and actually we talk about the film. So I was wondering, is it possible that Godzilla also gave you some inspiration that in the sequence in some way?
I've had someone show me the side-by-side comparison.
Really?
Yeah. And I get the comparison.
From which scene would it have been?
The liver.
Godzilla -1?
Yeah, it's when they're being chased by Godzilla in the ocean and they're in like the fishing boat thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And to me what it was really the original Jurassic Park. Like the scene where they're trying to get away in the Jeep and Jeff Goldblum I think's in the foreground and the T-Rex is chasing them and it smashes, they like duck under the broken tree and then it smashes through. Like that's the kind of that's a classical shot in Jurassic, and this was my T-Rex scene. So obviously I'm going to gravitate to those sort of shots, and once you replace the Jeep with the boat and the T-Rex is now in water, it's like it just becomes that.
Makes sense.
But yeah. But I can see the similarity. And,
interesting.
Yeah.
And the last 2 Jurassic World series introduced a hybrid dinosaur, which I guess which received quite mixed reactions. Some people are rooting for real dinosaurs rather than the fictional hybrids. And in this film, we have more terrifying mutant monsters, and the story leans further into like a monster movie territory. But I think this is very interesting because if you look at the Jurassic Park 3. Dr. Alan Grant says what John Hammond and the InGen did at the Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monster. So here's the thing, what do you think the difference between real dinosaurs but created by human for their education or entertainment and the mutant monsters?
Well, I think that going back to the first novel, the Jeff Goldblum's character, Ian Malcolm, says these are not real animals.
Yeah.
Because you changed any of the DNA, you plugged in the holes in the sequence gaps with other DNA. You've created something else, and that comment was one of the things that started us thinking. What about the times, and then the subsequent Jurassic World movies when, with Indominus Rex, they say people get bored, they want to see new, bigger, different. Stephen and I thought, but what about the times that it didn't work out? Because no science project works the first time. There have to be multiple attempts at it. So we wanted to see, how far can we go into mutant territory? And that was one of the things we did actually kind of late in the process, was we were putting labels on the tanks of the Mutodon and the D-Rex at the beginning. And we had this idea, let's have it say version 7.5. So, okay, it's getting off track a little bit. It's the 7th version or 7th and a half version of that. And then the Distortus was version 23.7 or something.
We did exactly what you wrote.
It's clearly has gone bad. They should have stopped after 5 or 6, but they kept going. So the idea was present, the seed of the idea was present in Crichton's first novel. And I think we just ran with it.
I took it as as a filmmaker, when you're doing science fiction, you're always looking for what's the analogy, because doing a literal film about monsters is never as interesting as when there's like a deeper hidden meaning in it.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to, for me, I was like, what is the meaning behind this, like that I can just know myself. And what I thought you were doing at one point, but you probably weren't, was I felt like the creatures were a little bit like a metaphor for cinema.
Yeah.
And that, because you had a price tag on them, they're about 75 million. right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's very much very meta. The thing there,
Okay.
yeah, they say, yeah, talking about where do you mark off your losses and how do you.
Yeah.
These are business endeavors, and that again also that was present from the first movie. That you're making a movie about greedy theme park people for theme park people, and then there's merchandise in the movie, and that merchandise exists in real life, and it becomes a snake eating its own tail in a fun way.
That's one of my favorite shots in the original Jurassic Park. Full stop is where the camera just drifts past the gift shop.
Yeah.
Because you sort of go, of course there's going to be merchandise. Of course this is, and yet there is, and we'd already got the lunch boxes before even the movie came out and stuff. And it's very. I think the whole thing is to me, like especially the lines that you wrote about, that it's the audience has got bored of the same old entertainment. And we had to kind of keep upping ourselves, and the idea of like these corporations getting blamed when you go, well, it's the audience really, right? Oh, what's the writer of Raging Bull? Paul Schrader, I think, said in a recent interview, he says, do you think filmmakers are worse today? Or films are worse today than they were? And he goes, no, I think audiences are. And he was like, everyone gets to vote with their, with their dollar or their yen or whatever. Exactly. And so I think there was a nice little buried bit of meat on the bone, I thought.
So your message to our audience today is it's your fault, you have yourselves to blame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questionable line of attack for selling tickets, but my work.
In the opening sequence with D-Lex, one of the poor researchers got trapped behind the door and eaten, and that was very scary. And that claustrophobic feeling and that situation, the room grows red. Did any part of you think like, oh, this is like a Darth Vader of Rogue One?
Yeah, I've got to stop doing that. I was asking my mum if I ever got trapped in a shopping mall or a Sainsbury's or something where the glass door just closed, and maybe I wasn't in the centre and she left me behind or something. I don't know, I think I was trying to, because I've been asked this a little bit, I've been trying to think about where it comes from. I think it's like, there's the different moments in cinema that have been really good like that. Like, I thought, like the death of Spock in Wrath of Khan, right?
Yeah.
I think that's good. I really like The Abyss, where all the doors were closing when the thing was flooding and one guy gets the door but he can't get out. And it's a very harrowing, it's a way to have this sort of like, you're gonna die, I'm not. I'm so sorry.
It's just a moment of connection.
But you have glass, so you have all the emotion of it. Like normally that closes that, you don't have to deal with the emotional consequence of that. But when there's glass, it's like, I get to witness it and I can't run off because I've got to watch this person's last moments. So it's like a really horrific dilemma, but I will try not to do it ever again.
I remember there's a sequence in your Godzilla too, right?
There's one in every film, I think.
There's a lovely human moment and line that wasn't in the script. It was an on the day thing, must have been. Just the guy's line, please open the door for me, which is so plaintive instead of the traditional movie version, which is, open the door, open the goddamn door. Instead he asks in as reasonable a voice as he can muster, please open the door for me.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about how you would go with the emotional instinct of like, open the door. And then when you realize it's not working, like how you've got to just change gears and appeal to their humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something. And then it really is, it's like harrowing to watch someone do that. Like there's a lot of conversations about like setting up characters and backstory and everything. And I love cold opens, like the classic one being Jaws, where the girl runs into the ocean and the guy follows her and he's a bit drunk. And I think she gets high score in how immediately I care about someone without knowing anything about them.
Right.
And it's because of the situation and the empathy, and you don't see the thing even threatening her, like it's all through her performance.
Sure.
And I think that's just a high benchmark for like instantly grabbing the audience and making them stop eating their popcorn and go. And I'm always looking for like anything that can do that because it's a primal thing. It's like you watch a YouTube clickbait, on the side, and it's some car accident or something, or near miss. Someone just survives because of something, and you just can't. It's like gazelles in the wild. Like we look at the one that's getting attacked by the lion. It's probably why these movies work so well, because you cannot not look. You know what I mean? When oh my god, like that could be me. I could be in that situation. Oh, what's going to happen? And it works on a level, like horror works on a level that other genres have to work so much harder to achieve, like an instant which is why it's always like a good first film genre, because you don't have to be that good a writer. And so and this movie is like, I feel like it's like a pizza, and each slice is like a different genre, you know. And we have our horror in there, but we also have our action and adventure, and to me it was like all these different flavors of filmmaking that I would get to play in.
I heard that one of your earliest meeting was with Mattel Toy Company, and because they need to see a design of dinosaur to get ready to factory in a time for film release. But at the time you haven't designed any of it. So, but they're coming anyway. So what did you do? How did you get through the meeting?
Yeah, so we ended, like, it was like, I think when we first walked into the office in Universal, they go, okay, so in 2 weeks Mattel are coming. And I was like, why? And they're like, oh, because they want to see all the designs. So he's like, like, what designs? And they're like, well, just, you know, show them, see what you can show them. And it's like, so we hit this big, like, put up the bat signal, and essentially, I was very lucky. I worked with some really, really talented people, and we just contacted everybody and said, we're going to do a Zoom. There's going to be too many people in the Zoom, and basically we're going to pay everyone for like a day or two, and just and we're going to brief so we briefed like what felt like 50 people at once, and all the top designers everywhere, and then essentially within a day we had like 200 designs, and then we just basically, it was like a little World Cup, you know, get that one, and then we would tell those designers, give them some feedback, they would go and have another day and play, and then in about a week we had something not far off what the final movie was for most of them. But what was really hard is David had written 2 other creatures that were not quite animals, that were mutations, and they were trickier to figure out because he would describe them with his fingers on a typewriter.
Just trying to help out.
And then you'd be like, oh God, how'd you do that? And one of them was so difficult. We asked Mattel if they didn't mind if we didn't have a toy, because we were like, "Can you do a Christmas toy for that one?" Because we're gonna need, like, it took us 9 months to figure it out.
It was at the Mutodon.
Yeah.
Turned out great.
It's one of those things that when you finally get the design, you're like, well, why couldn't we figure that out on day 2? So it's basically a pterosaur meets a raptor, but it takes a long time to circle ideas to get to the one.
And the other opening sequence, you said this in another interview that it's kind of feel like dealing with the aftermath of the other monster movie, like King Kong. Like what happened after the King Kong fell onto the floor and died on the street. You know, they have to clean up the giant creature that died in the city. Like you just mentioned that in this film, the dinosaur is kind of like a metaphor for cinema. They are once massive and once ruled the world, and now they're forgotten. And it's kind of a bit sad as a movie fan. But what did you want to express through the metaphor in this film?
Yeah, kind of that metaphor also fitted there a little bit. I shouldn't be saying this metaphor because it is a bit sad, but that was your stuff, all that, the idea that they're dying out.
Well, I think it was necessity. You have to make the narrative reason behind doing it, or the conceptual reason behind doing it, is again, all good ideas flowed from the initial books, and in the initial books, it's speculated they're not going to survive. They can't. This world is very different. You think you're bringing them into the same world. You're not. You're bringing them into a world with different oxygen, different insects, different viruses. It's just a completely different place. But from a movie sense, we needed to make them special again. At the end of the Dominion, you know, they're everywhere, and they had fully explored the idea of dinosaurs live among us. You see dinosaurs nesting on the Chrysler Building. They're walking through Midtown. They're renting apartments on the Upper West Side. So it felt to me like I have nowhere else to go with that idea. They've done it fully. It was great. How do we make dinosaurs special again? And so I just wanted to respect what was the reality of the concept, which was dinosaurs struggle to live on this planet. So how does that make them a little more scarce?
David, this is his first time in Japan.
It is.
So the last time I was here, it's the kind of fun stuff you get to do. I was on a double-decker bus
Yeah.
with no roof, and I was with this little girl actress who was the voice actor for the character in our movie. Her dad's a very famous performer in Japan.
Exactly.
And so I essentially had to go around and talk about everywhere we shot the movie. And it was translated. And I watched the video back, and it was one of those classic things that made no sense to me. But it was like, you say things, it goes like, it was like classic Japanese television where you go,